Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about the Washington football team and how they can surprise a lot of people this season, largely due to the talent that they have all over their roster. But before we hop into the content of today's video, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and drop a like on the video if you guys do enjoy it. We're on the road to 800 subscribers. We're around 10 subscribers away from 800. So if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And with all that being said, let's hop into the video about the Washington football team and how they can shatter expectations in 2021. The Washington football team surprised a lot of people last year when they actually won the NFC least, as many call it. They won the division with 7 wins, and it was not pretty at times. We all saw how bad the Eagles were last year with Carson Wentz, who ended up getting benched. And of course, the Giants struggled all year long on offense. Their defense was pretty decent last year, but the Giants' offense really struggled. And of course, the Cowboys, they lost Dak Prescott, and as soon as that injury happened with the poor defense that the Dallas Cowboys have, their season was over. So it left one team to take advantage of it, and that was the Washington football team, who had one of the best defenses in the entire National Football League. They actually hosted a playoff game against no other than Tom Brady and the Super Bowl champions, the Tampa Bay Bucks. And although they didn't win that game, they showed some fight, and it was actually arguably the toughest game that the Bucks had in the entire playoffs. And maybe that's not worth anything at all, but it is kind of worth noting that the Washington football team played hard for Coach Ron Rivera, and they didn't even have their starting quarterback. They had Taylor Heinicke, who was actually starting his first ever game for the Washington football team. And he put up a good fight. He threw for 300 yards, and for a moment in time, there was one if the Washington football team can pull off this upset. But we all know how the story ended. The Bucks did end up winning the game. But what the young roster in Washington can take away from the game is just some really good experience to bring into next season and some good momentum to carry over, as they added a ton of new additions in free agency and in the draft to make their front seven especially even better. We know with their first pick in the draft, they selected Jamin Davis out of Kentucky, who's one of the best linebackers in the entire class. He's very versatile, and he's going to be all over the field for Washington, and he plugs another position on that defense, and they're loaded up front. They got Daron Payne, they got Montez Sweat, of course, Chase Young, Rookie of the Year, Jonathan Allen, and the list goes on and on with players that they have on the defensive line. Matt Ioannidis is another name that you can throw in there. And now they have Jamin Davis to pair up with Cole Holcomb, and they have a pretty decent linebacker group as well. We go to the back end, and they're going to have Landon Collins returning from injury. They also signed William Jackson in free agency to help out their secondary. And they also have a pair of young cornerbacks out there in Greg Stroman and Jimmy Moreland. And you can't forget about the cornerback that they drafted in the 3rd round as well. Out of Minnesota, we'll see if he can contribute and be a decent player for them as a rookie, or if he can develop into something good. And of course, we can't forget about their most recent addition, Bobby McCain, who's most likely going to be playing safety. So they're going to have a good pair of Bobby McCain, Landon Collins, and then they got some young guys in the secondary. And hopefully they can just recover the receivers for 1 or 2 seconds, and that pass rush is going to get home most of the time. Washington only allowed 20.6 points a game, which was the 4th best scoring defense in the entire NFL, and now they're adding in some more reinforcements, and I think that defense is only going to get better with year 2 of Chase Young, and of course some of their young guys still developing. But one of the most intriguing players that they signed was no other than Ryan Fitzpatrick. He had a good stint with the Dolphins, and he's played for multiple teams now, but he's going to go over to Washington now, and I think he's going to start week 1 for them. Many thought that they could go after a quarterback in the draft if Justin Fields or Trey Lance ended up falling, and they didn't make it all the way to number 19, so that's probably largely the reason why Washington didn't reach on a quarterback at that spot. But they got Heinicke to back up Fitzpatrick, who we all know can be Fitzmagic and also Fitztragic. Washington has done a great job surrounding him with a lot of weapons. Of course, he has Terry McLaurin, who's one of the best young receivers in the league. They went out there and they signed Curtis Samuel to a large contract. They got Logan Thomas at tight end, who's going to be a great pass catcher for them in that spot. And another draft pick that many think is a steal is Dyami Brown. So they've given Fitzpatrick plenty of weapons to rely on. And of course, they have Antonio Gibson in the backfield, who emerged last year as a young stud at the running back position. So when you look at their offense and their defense, they have a lot of players who are going to make an impact on the field, and it's just about the quarterback play, and if they can get somewhat of consistency from Fitzpatrick. We know he's not going to be a top-level quarterback all the time, but if he can manage his turnovers and just not completely lose the game for Washington, I think they can rely on their defense a little bit and let Fitzpatrick throw the ball down the field, and they're going to be just fine with winning some games and potentially winning the NFC East for another season. Washington just released Morgan Moses, and I think that was largely due to the fact that they drafted Samuel Cosmi in the draft in the second round. Moses has always been a solid player for Washington, but he's also had his struggles, and he's known for having a lot of penalties. And Washington's going to save around $7.5 million, so that's probably a big reason why they made this decision, especially with a young guy coming in who's going to be able to have some potential, and potentially by the end of the season match the skill level that Morgan Moses had. I think they felt comfortable with Cosmi, and they're going to slide him in at right tackle, and the offensive line is going to be pretty decent up front as well for Fitzpatrick. It may surprise a lot of people, but Washington actually had the 6th best offensive line rated by Pro Football Focus this past season. I know Pro Football Focus gets a lot of criticism sometimes, but one thing that they're really good at actually measuring is the trenches, and they have Washington at the 6th spot, so I think that ranking is pretty respectable. Washington definitely has a top half of the league offensive line, and I think they surrounded Fitzpatrick pretty well for success. Anytime we've seen Fitzpatrick go off, he's had a boatload of weapons all around him. If we remember Tampa Bay when he threw for 400 yards in back-to-back games and was just tearing up the NFL, he had tons of receivers and playmakers all around him. And of course, in Miami, he did have Devontae Parker and Mike Gesicki in his best season with them in 2019. And Devontae Parker had a career year with Fitzpatrick, so if he has some weapons out there that can make some plays for him, he's going to give him a chance to go up and get the ball. And I think the receivers for Washington is going to be very happy to have a quarterback who's going to throw the ball up to him and let him make some plays, because they've had Alex Smith, who's kind of known for checking the ball down. And of course, Dwayne Haskins, who is no longer on the team. So I think the Washington receivers are going to be really happy to have a guy who's going to spread the ball around the field, and he's going to give you some jump balls and some risky passes, but I think that's what receivers really like out of their quarterbacks, and we're going to see how that chemistry blends going into the season. Washington has the 15th hardest schedule going into the season. Their scheduled opponents have just barely above a 500 record, so Washington still has a favorable schedule, nothing too difficult, they're just barely in the top half of the league. So I think they definitely have a chance to repeat and take the crown of the NFC East once again. I think the Giants are going to be a lot better next year because they do have a lot more playmakers as well that they added to their team, but you have to keep in mind they have Daniel Jones still back there, and if he can't take the next step, the Giants aren't going to get much better. It's a quarterback league and you need somebody who's going to make your team better, and if Daniel Jones can't do that, I don't think that the Giants are going to be able to compete long-term in the division. The Cowboys, I think they have a lot of holes in their team. I don't know if they're going to be necessarily ready to compete this year. Of course, they're getting Dak Prescott back, and they have a lot of firepower on that offense, but their offensive line is aging and has some holes, and then you go to their defense, and that's just mysteries all over the field. But we're going to have to see how it goes. Right now, I think the Washington football team should be the favorite. I know Dak Prescott coming back has gotten a lot of hype from Vegas, and they're kind of the favorite to win the division right now. But I think the Washington football team and the Giants definitely have the best 2 rosters in the division. It's just going to come down to the quarterback play. Can Ryan Fitzpatrick be more efficient and be more consistent than Daniel Jones? And can Daniel Jones take that next step? So we're going to have to wait and see how that goes. Right now, those are my top 2 teams in the division. I think the Cowboys always have a chance as well because they have, in my opinion, the best quarterback in the division. But I'm not sure Dak Prescott off of a season-ending injury can raise the Cowboys up with all their holes that they have and actually make a run to win the division. But I think the NFC East is going to be another interesting and competitive division this year. And hopefully whoever wins the division this year has an above 500 record to make it no longer called the NFC least. But thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and drop a like on the video if you guys did enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think of the Washington football team down below, and if you guys think that they can make a run into the playoffs and even win a playoff game or 2. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'll catch you guys next time.